TIFU by making my 3yo think she would have to stay at school forever when she turns 4. I live in the Netherlands, and where I live you have to draw lots for the more popular schools in the city. I enrolled my daughter in nursery school at a Montessori school. It's a very popular school, so I wasn't sure if she would be able to go to kindergarten and school there. Normally I would have to enroll her when she turned 3, but because of COVID I had to wait 6 more months before being able to enroll her. Dreadful suspense. Finally the day is here and I hear she's in. I'm very happy, and the first thing I tell her when I go pick her up from nursery school is, "Good news! You will be able to stay here when you turn 4. She doesn't react very enthusiastic, but it's lunchtime, so I think she's just hungry and a bit cranky and don't pay much attention. Normally she's singing all the way home while sitting on the back of my bicycle, but today she's very quiet and not really answering my questions. When we get home I say again, "It's great that you will be able to stay in school when you turn 4. Isn't it?" She started crying and said, "But I don't want to. I want you to come pick me up." Poor thing thought I meant she would have to stay there forever, and she must have been so confused and hurt by my enthusiasm. I'm just so glad she told me what was wrong. Imagine having this hanging over you for the next 6 months. I felt like the worst parent ever. TLDR. I accidentally told my toddler she would have to stay at school forever. She's scarred for life. Time to start over with a new one. I love the way little kids think. You never know how they will interrupt things. I had similar fears as a young child. When I was in kindergarten, we only had half-day school. Then once you started first grade you switched to a regular full school day. When my parents told me I'd be starting all-day school the next year, I was so distraught. I thought I would be at school literally all day. Would I get to come home at night even? Would I see my parents again? I think we take for granted some figures of speech because they feel so obvious to all but little kids, but they haven't learned that yet. Normally she's singing all the way home while sitting on the back of my bicycle. I sometimes forget how awesome the Netherlands sounds. Poor girl. Just make sure you aren't late picking her up the first day. I worked at a Montessori kindergarten in Beijing for a few years. Weren't allowed to tell the children off or say no to them in any manner. E.g., instead of "stop running," we had to say "we invite you to walk politely," which doesn't quite work on 3 to 4-year-olds. Very off topic, but saw Montessori and it reminded me of this. Thank you to your daughter's naivety for giving me a little chuckle. My son learned the meaning of being fired when he was 4 or 5, and I told him I was going to fire him from helping with some chore. He looked terrified and thought I was going to set him on fire. Poor kids. The world must be frightening when you only have the mental ability to take everything literally. Al lief hopelijk heeft ze een gade schooltje want daarna pa begint het balen echt. My parents told me that when I was a kid, there was one time we were planning to go to the zoo on Sunday. But then I got sick. So they told me, "Let's go tomorrow, when you're better." In our language, the word tomorrow and next time is kinda similar. And apparently I took tomorrow literally. The next day, I was better and demanded to go to the zoo that day. My dad had to take a day off from work. Haha, poor kid and poor you. At least that is better than her being excited to never see you again. I want to be 3 years old going to Montessori school in the NL with a mom who picks me up and rides me home on the back of her bicycle every day. Please. This is so precious. Me. Tells dog to lay down and stay. Dog. Obeys me. Leaves room and returns hours later. Dog. HTTPS. i.p.ni.mg.com/736x/68/6E/6F9E9D213455688.jpg. Hoop dat sie engaged tide heaved. Ah, poor girl. This reminds me of when I was a kid, and my mom went through a drive-thru and ordered a large fry. I was starving and upset because I thought she only ordered a single fry and we would have to share it. When I was 7, my mother was in a car accident on her way to the school to pick me up from after-school daycare. I loved my teacher, named Bobby. She sat me down and explained what happened. My mother was just fine, but obviously had to deal with the whole accident thing. Well, Bobby decided to tell me she'd be happy to take me home and let her son fly me around in his helicopter. I started bawling, thinking my parents didn't want me anymore, so Bobby was going to take care of me from now on. Obviously, this poor woman thought a helicopter ride would be amazing for a 7-year-old. Now, as an adult, I wholly agree and wish I'd have reacted much differently. But that's not what happened. I didn't stop crying for hours until my dad showed up to get me. I could have ridden in a goddamn helicopter with a super rich family that worked at my school for fun. But nope. Idiot me decided sobbing my adorable little eyes out was the appropriate response. TL. Doctor, you didn't fuck up, bud. It's part of growing up to misinterpret things adults say. Oh, my goodness. Poor baby. I'm laughing so hard. The kid next door attended school for 6 weeks, and when the first half-term holiday arrived, 1 week, he announced that he had left school. He hadn't even turned 5 yet, but thought he was done. Such a cute story. Lol. I like how kids think. Just cute. And wow, you from Netherlands. Been seeing pictures of the place in IG, and boy, they are so beautiful. Are the views real good from there? Wat graphic dat zij dat co anders opak de als dat jij het beta ed. Reminds me of that Onion article for the kid who realizes that he has to go back to school tomorrow. And not only that, but every year for the next 12 years.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.